There have been many MMOs that have come out over the past few years. Some good, some with promise, but most only let us down in the end. But we as gamers, we dust off the debris, we turn our sights in hopes for something better over the next mountain. As time goes on, so does the need for excitement for the next great game. I know I can speak for myself when I say I've been waiting for something that's truly exciting. And now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think this may be the game for me. It's a new world, and a
New day, yes it is!
New World is an open world MMO that takes place in a fictional 17th century on a long lost island called Aeternum. As you start your adventure, you wake up on a beach of a mysterious uncharted land after crashing your ship with apparently hundreds of other players who all at the same time pretend like all this wasn't somehow secretly planned. As you start the game, everyone seems to be in good spirits and on the same page. We're all cold and hungry, so it makes sense to have to kill each other until later. Players colonize a fictional land modeled after British America and the Atlantic Ocean, and that begins your journey. The game was created using Amazon's Lumberyard engine. This free cross-platform engine developed by Amazon is based off the CryEngine, which makes games like the Far Cry series. The main focus of the game is a PvPvE mindset in which players upon reaching level 10 will choose or not choose to join a faction in which to align themselves with. These being the Marauders, which are a ruthless military force bent on establishing a free nation where anyone with the strength to do so can prosper or profit. The Syndicate, a secret organization of boundless guild and intellect in search of forbidden knowledge to usher in the new age of enlightenment. Or the Covenant. It's a fanatical order that has charged itself with cleansing the land of heretics and defilers so that the true holy nature can flourish and justice can be restored. These three factions form the spine of PvP gameplay in Aeternum.
Well, I don't want to be with you guys. I want to be alone.
That's okay. Don't worry. If you choose to be a loner, you can be a loner. You want to live out in the wilderness and do a man versus crazy lifestyle? Do it. Choosing a faction shouldn't be taken lightly, as your decision will be locked. That's why you have the opportunity to explore the game and all the social landscapes on your server before you make a decision. Using these systems, players gain territory, build up settlements, and try to continue to expand their faction's influence over the land. Sounds easy, right?
Yes it is!
Not quite. The battle for these lands will be intense, as players do missions for their factions for rewards and influence over territory. Should your land get too weak, influentially, a rivalry territory can declare war on you and take your territory through a series of both PvE and PvP gameplay. However, there's also a flip side to this coin.
Yes it is!
You also gotta watch out, because it might just be the land itself that rises up to make an assault on you altogether. So the way players take territories from other players is through sieges. Sieges are a way for companies to remove their enemies' claims from their land. These are done in massive 50 versus 50 battles between companies. To prevent people from interfering with the war, the settlement will be shielded from outside influence, making it impossible to participate if you're not invited by the two parties. But fear not, these sieges will be made up with multiple companies, so there's a good chance you'll be able to participate. During the war, attackers and defenders gain points that can be used to upgrade defenses or get access to siege equipment or gear. The siege ends if either the attackers manage to breach the wall and claim the flag, or the time runs out. Large battles are not only what you should be looking out for between player versus player. It can also happen between player versus non-player. There are 4 major enemy factions in New World. The Lost. These are zombie-like creatures who are the remains of previous explorers stranded on Aeternum. The Angry Earth. These are dryads, beasts, and other elementals of nature that try to push back against the invading humans. The Ancients are what's left over from an old civilization that existed on Aeternum long ago, who left behind temples and pyramid-like structures. And the Corrupted, who have been possessed by Azoth and are mounting an invasion against settlers. Azoth is a substance found through the island that affects both positively and negatively, but not much is known about it as of right now. We just know that it can corrupt. Another feature we already know about is invasions. These are where hordes of corrupted or undead will assault a player's settlement. So let's say if the corrupted take notice of your progress, and maybe they think to themselves, you're getting too strong, you need to be taken down a notch. Corrupted breaches can begin to emerge in your territory, making travel and resource gathering more difficult the longer the breaches go unaddressed. Ignore them, you say? I wouldn't do that if I were you. Doing so would only cause them to get stronger and more threatening, requiring more and more people to defeat them. As it's been stated, there won't be any dungeons or raids in the game at release, although they may be added at a later date. New World will have world bosses though. The map of Aeternum is large. It can hold over 1,000 players at the same time. All different types of areas of resources. The world is very secretive, full of wonder, power, and danger. Not much is known, and traveling this place no one knows what to expect. A massive supernatural world that actively confronts the player that attempts to conquer it. This land has a beautiful amount of landscapes, with every area looking more, feeling different, amazing, but deadly, all in the same package. There are no mounts or naval battles, but might be added in the future, if players want it. Progressing through the system requires an abundance of player agency. As the game progresses around the player, your goals matter, and the choices you make matter. I know we've heard that in many games, on many different grand scopes, but it matters in the grand of this scope of this game. You want to be the best blacksmith, the best cook? These choices will matter as players come in need of your services, and your reputation of such things will hold weight. Players will have to work together to build up settlements, doing tasks, and completing quests. The system is not linear or theme parkish in any way. A player can hit max level doing all the quests, or only a fourth of them, or none of them. It's really up to the player to choose how they want to level. There are no classes in New World. Your playstyle is determined by your weapon of choice. The game features a multitude of different weapons, from one-hand to two-hand swords, two-hand axes, two-hand hammers, spears, maces, two-hand staves, bows, muskets, pistols, torches, and shields. Armor comes in different sets depending on faction: cloth, leather, heavy armor. Most of the gear, especially the great gear, comes from crafting, and having the best crafting stations comes from the strongest settlements in the territory. A settlement is where a player owns homes, crafts, refines items, trades, take faction missions, and socialize. Every settlement has a variety of houses available to you. Multiple players can acquire the same physical location, but they will only be able to see their property and their decor unless they're visiting another player's house. Once you've settled into your home, you can personalize your space. They've added hundreds of items for you to use to customize your home. Everything from tables, chairs, decorative gardens, plants, hanging vines can help you design your property to reflect your taste. When a player finds a place to call home in a settlement, they're joining a community of allies, skilled crafters, adventuring partners, and even adversaries. That's right, your haters can live with you. Players can invest in making their house in Aeternum feel like a home with furniture and decorative pets and trophies to give them bonuses on their adventures, on their favorite trade skills. These settlements are all run by companies. Yes, you heard me right. What's a company? No, we're not talking about Apple here. A company is like a guild. These are formed by players. A player can be a mayor of a settlement, setting taxes and taking care of the day-to-day for an entire population. That's right. When a company takes control of a territory, the governor of that company becomes the governor of the controlled territory. But the company acts as a proxy for the faction they're a part of. As a governor, your responsibility is to maintain control of your territory for your faction. Gear is based on gear score and a tier system of percentages. These are ranked fine, superior, artisan, and flawless. This stems not only from gear, but the tools you use for fighting and gathering. This can go as far as to affect the yield and rarity of the goods you're farming. The game is based on skill-based combat that is tactical and deep on any scale. Whether it's aiming a bow, shooting a gun, thrusting your sword, those with high caliber skill will see victory often. This applies to even lower levels of players, where a lower level who's higher skilled can actually kill a higher level who's subpar skilled. The game brings back many systems I haven't seen since I played old school EverQuest 99. Systems like the need for food and water for survival on a reg. A resist system encompassing physical, elemental, magic, fire, poison, even corruption, among many others. I find this great. A great way to potentially have an in-depth survival matrix. The game features a full, in-depth, and detailed crafting system starting with blacksmithing, engineering, outfitting, alchemy, cooking, and wilderness survival. Oh yeah. It's rumored to have more coming along, but we'll have to wait and see. I know I'm barely scratching the surface with everything we've all set to encounter in this land of adventure. At the moment, I'm most excited to create a company and become the governor and dominate all who dare to cross my path. I'm just kidding, but I'm not. We all have fears and concerns, certain systems, I know I do, about things in this game. Everything sounds great on paper, but there are some things I'm a little worried about. But I'm reserving judgment and speaking about them openly until I test the game firsthand. With the beta starting soon, I look forward to experiencing all of this. I have to say overall that I'm very excited about this game. It looks very good and very promising, but we'll have to see when the beta starts. We'll have to see when I get in there, and we'll have to see what kind of experience I have and if I'm gonna have fun as much as I think I'm gonna have. But you'll never know, I will never know, until I actually do it. So if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe for more content. It helps my channel. With that being said, this is your boy, D to the E, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.